Coming to you direct from Silencer Shop Studios, home of the Glass Case of Emotion.
SilencerShop.com, the easiest way to buy silencers online, period.
Stand by for education, enlightenment, enjoyment, and entertainment.
He's not here to talk about your feelings. He's not here to say what you want to hear. He's here to say what needs to be said.
Ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages, please welcome your host, the pimp hand of America, Professor Paul Markle.
Hey, welcome to a continuing week of Student of the Gun Radio. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to join us today. And we've got some fun stuff for you from the Great White North, from up north. And because it's Tuesday, let me look at my show notes here. We've got a Canadian update theme. We've got a Vagination theme. Oh, yeah. And then we will have some quiet time for you. So that's all coming up on Student of the Gun Radio. Now, today is number 559er. 559 episodes of Student of the Gun Radio. Doesn't it seem like just yesterday, Jared, that we started doing this?
Yeah, actually, it does, kind of. And it's been freaking 3 years now.
Actually,
4.
It's
holy crap.
This week
is
our 4-year.
I think it was the 16th
anniversary.
Or no, it wasn't the 16th. It was the 20.
It was mid-March.
Yeah.
It might have been the Ides of March. I actually didn't say it on the day because now it's several days later. But yes, we just passed our 4-year anniversary of Student of the Gun Radio. We celebrate milestones all the time. We celebrated the 300th episode, the 500th episode. We celebrated that, but we didn't actually celebrate the anniversary date. And it has been 4 years since we started this little adventure that we call Student of the Gun Radio. And the reason that we did this was because, well, we have been doing Student of the Gun TV since we started pre-production of the first episode in 2010, but it didn't actually air until 2011. So the television show it's good. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's good, but we can't because of the format of TV. You have essentially a 30-minute show. And you have several topics. You have intros and outros and commercial time and all that jazz. And we don't have commercial time anymore, but you know what I'm saying. You can't get into subjects as deeply or as in detail on the TV show as you can on the radio show. You can't. And you also, because of the way that television shows are produced, you can't do topical. I mean, if I was like Jimmy Fallon or Jay Leno or David Letterman, those people that do daily shows, they can do topical. But when you pre-produce a show, you pre-produce a season, and you put it out, you can't talk about something that just happened yesterday or a week ago or what have you. So the radio show gives us the opportunity to address those things, and also to get into greater depth. For instance, like we get our Monday Warrior of the Week questions. I can take that topic and I can spend 10 or 15 minutes on it, whereas there's no way I could spend 10 to 15 minutes on one single question from an audience member.
3 to 5 minutes
in a TV
topic.
Show. Yeah. A 5-minute dedicated segment on a certain topic is pretty long for TV.
So I'm looking at the published content that we have, and the first radio show was on March 8th of 2013.
Wow!
And it was SOTG 001, ammo shortage, and self-defense advice. And did you know that when we started this, we didn't do radio show note documents? We
didn't know to do that.
Yeah. We didn't do notes, and we didn't do descriptions. Because I'm looking at the content sheet, and those 2 rows say, does not have. I'm like, oh, okay. That's funny.
Because
we didn't start doing radio show
new.
notes until the 6th episode, and I think that's when we figured out that we could continue to do this.
Episode 1 was a single microphone and a mic stand, Jared's laptop, and did you even have the 2-channel mixing board at the time?
I just had the little interface. It wasn't even a mixing board.
It was a 2-channel interface.
It was just an interface, and I could only adjust the volume. And that plugged directly into my laptop, my little MacBook, and that MacBook is passed since then.
And now you're dealing with how many monitors do you have open?
I've only got 3 right now.
You only have 3 monitors open. Okay. And I have.
We didn't have a timer. Wow.
We didn't have a show timer. Wow! Look at how far you came. Yeah. And this, I'm all self-taught. I didn't go to broadcast school.
Yeah, exactly.
Although what I did do, can I tell you something I did recently? I discovered an antique shop that's not. It's kind of an antique shop, but it's also kind of a flea market that I should have discovered a long time ago.
Where?
Over in Biloxi, behind Winn-Dixie. You know where the Winn-Dixie is?
Yeah.
You know where you used to live?
Yeah.
There's a big building that says antiques, books, and different on the building. It's a great big building. It's right behind the Shell station. You know where the Shell station is?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right
I know what you're talking about. I thought that place was closed.
No,
they're open.
No. Oh, they're open every day.
Holy crap!
Except Sunday. Well, I went in there, and I found that there are vinyl record albums in milk crates, hundreds, if not thousands, of them.
Holy cow!
Yes,
I didn't know that place was like open and running.
Yes, I went. And I kind of lost my mind.
Did you buy a bunch of them?
Oh, you did? Yeah, you haven't seen them. Yeah.
Is that the milk crate that I saw a picture of? Or was that somebody else?
No, I didn't. I put a picture up on Instagram of I bought. What did we see? What did I get? Classic. I got Frampton Comes Alive, the double album.
I don't know what that is.
Ted Nugent's Great Gonzos double album.
Who's Ted Nugent?
Yeah. I got Billy Squire, Billy Idol. I got Jay Giles Band's Freeze Frame. I got, what else did I get? A bunch of stuff. Here's the thing. This is what a geek I am. I got so excited that the first day I went and I just bought 4 albums, right? And then I didn't even listen to them. I brought them and I was excited. I came home and put them in the milk crate, the container thing. Then Zach and I went back like 2 or 3 days later when I had time because I wanted to actually sort through them. And I found a bunch more and I bought like 6 or 7 or 8 more. And I got home and I realized that I bought the Jay Giles Band's Freeze Frame album twice. I was so excited about finding it that I bought it twice.
That's funny.
So now I got 2 copies.
Do they have like a digital register there? Or do they have like a pen and paper thing?
No, they have an actual. They have like a tablet with a credit card machine hooked up to it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they've got
so
basically just a tablet. And
so they're like, man, this guy likes us so much that he's buying 2 of them. You just bought this one like a couple days ago.
It's like, yeah, it was a different lady, but yeah, I can't wait to. I'm going to be upgrading. With the double D.
What 2Ds?
Upgrade! Yeah. I'm going to upgrade my turntable in the future. That's what I've been doing on Amazon, Jared. I've been searching for new turntables.
What about microphones?
Amplifiers and tuned turntables and a microphone. I already got the microphone.
That would be pretty cool as like a workout radio system. Is getting a turntable and hooking it up to like a big sound system.
Oh, things are happening. Things are old school. It was like a time machine. It really was. It was like a time machine. I put these albums on. Oh, I found the Who's Face Dances. And you better, you bet. Oh, you old guys, you guys know that. All right, guys, it's time for a Canadian music theme song. And we haven't used this one in a while. But all you old school guys, you guys are old like me. You'll know who this is and where it came from. So take off, eh? Take off! Thank you, Geddy Lee. And that was from Bob and Doug McKenzie there. Take off, eh? You hosers. You hosers, you young hosers don't know anything about what that's all about, eh? Oh, I've been waiting. Oh. Since this story broke, I've been waiting for the opportunity to speak it into this black carbon steel microphone. Because when I read the story, I knew, oh, yes, this was definitely going to make the cut. And our source for this is www.cbc.ca/news/Canada. Oh, man. It's a story by Christy Neese for CBC News.
I have a question for you. Do you manually post stuff to your LinkedIn, or does it like syndicate from somewhere else? Because that's where I saw this story. You posted it on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So
I do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I do that. All right, here we go. And the title of the story is Deadly Weapon? ? Ottawa police assault gloves scrutinized after assault officer charged in death. I think I just passed out a little bit. I might have just tinkled in my Canadian panties. Deadly weapon. And it says Abdiharaham Abdi. Abdiharaham Abdi, 37, lost vital signs during confrontation with Ottawa police in July of 2016. Ooh. All right, if you guys have duct tape handy, I think you should grab some and wrap it around your skull because you might lose it. I'm going to read you the caption of the attached photo. Ottawa Police Constable Daniel Montsion is facing charges of manslaughter, aggravated assault, and assault with a weapon in the July 2016 death of Abdiharahman Abdi. Sources tell CBC News that he was wearing a pair of Oakley Standard Issue assault gloves at the time of the attempted arrest. It was an attempted arrest? You mean he got away? Did the dude get away? I don't think he got away, so it wouldn't be an attempted arrest, but that's me being a grammar Nazi. Questions are being raised about reinforced gloves used by Ottawa police following the death of a man last year. And CBC News has learned that an internal police audit of all gloves issued to the officers is underway. They're conducting an audit of the gloves that the police are allowed to wear. The gloves. The gloves.
Like the gloves that go on your hands.
Constable Daniel Monson is facing charges of manslaughter, aggravated assault, and assault with a deadly weapon, which were laid last week by Ontario's police watchdog, the Special Investigations Unit. So the AI up there, or IA, Internal Affairs, the SIU, they're going to hang this dude out. Ottawa police officer charged, blah, blah, blah. There we go. Let's see. How did this all get underway? What's going on? On July 24th, Abdiharahman Abdi, Dirk Allah, Muhammad Jihad, lost vital signs. Isn't that what happens when you die, Jared? I don't know. Like, what is this verbiage in this Canadian news story about? Have you ever seen a story about someone dying where it says, and the victim of the crash lost vital signs when his head was removed from his body? Is that when he lost his vital signs? Can we find him?
I thought that you lost those 5 minutes after your head was removed from your body.
Like the victim of the airplane crash lost vital signs. Did the EMTs look for them? Did anyone bother to look for the vital signs? This is just weird verbiage, is it not? Or am I crazy here? That they would use the term lost vital signs. Is that kind of like dying? I guess dying isn't as fancy of a way of saying like, he lost vital signs. During a confrontation with Monson and another officer as they attempted to arrest him for allegedly groping people inside a coffee shop. Here we go. Abdi, who had as yet unspecified mental health issues, was eventually restrained and handcuffed just outside the entrance to his apartment building nearby. When Abdi is lying on the ground, facing down and still, the constable who's been charged punches him in the head very violently, twice, and then we never see Abdi move again, said Heather Badenoch, one of the few people who have seen an unreleased surveillance video depicting the confrontation. When we were watching the video, and then those 2 punches, we gasped because they were so disproportionate to what was needed. This is the bystander who's saying this. I love it when bystanders watch cops making arrests, and then they tell people, they're like, "There's no reason there was no reason for 4 officers to arrest that guy." Really? Because you've arrested people before? Well, no, but I know that there's no reason for an officer to use that kind of force. I know. How do you know that? I just know. Based on I watch television, and so I know.
I've spent the last 20 years watching cops. I have 20 years of experience.
That's right. You should be a cop tomorrow. Abdi was pronounced dead at the hospital the following day. Apparently, they were still searching for his vital signs for like a whole day. Cell phone video footage of Monson crouched beside an aggressive or an unconscious blah, 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 blah. Now, here's the thing. You need to get into this because you're telling me that the cop just walked up to the guy and said, "Hey, dickhead," and punched him in the face, right? Well, no. Well, what happened? And this is the problem here, is they don't go into what led up to the confrontation. I mean, we've got... Now, Jared, why would a person with the name Abdi Araman Abdi think that it would be okay to go into a public place and grope women?
Because he read the Bible.
I don't think he read that, but he had an undisclosed... What does it say? How do they describe it? He had an undiagnosed and undisclosed mental... He had an unspecified mental health issue.
Yeah, it's called Sharia law.
Dirk Allah, Muhammad Jihad. That's what it's called. But let's go on here. This is where... So it's not about... So if he would have punched him with bare hands, that would have been okay? Really? No. Cell phone footage of Monson crouched beside an unconscious Abdi just minutes after the confrontation shows Monson wearing what looks like a set of Oakley standard issue assault gloves with the Oakley insignia clearly visible.
They just got a bunch of free advertising.
Yeah. Oakley's like, rock on! Woo! Keep saying our name! A source from, I actually had a set of Oakley gloves. And Oakley boots. I
cannot confirm or deny where those went.
And Oakley boots. You have my Oakley gloves?
What?
You butthead.
No, actually, I think mine are Blackhawk. I don't think I have the Oakley gloves. I do have the Oakley boots, though, which are mine.
Which are yours?
Yeah.
Are they yours?
Because they fit my feet.
You're such a butthead. Is that where my Oakley desert boots are? At your house?
No, that's definitely
in your closet. You freaking butthead. A source familiar with the case said Monson was wearing that brand of gloves during the arrest. So it's all come down to the gloves now. It comes down to the gloves. The a police source close to the investigation said the gloves are central to Monson's assault with a weapon charge. See, that's the thing. They can't just charge him with, like, excessive use of force or whatever. They want to charge him with assault with a weapon. And they're like, well, but he didn't have a weapon in his hands. And somebody at the Specialized Investigation Unit, the SUI, Special Investigations Unit in Canada said, oh, he was wearing assault gloves. Assault gloves? What? Oh, my Lord. Oh, check this out. Police sources said the Monson's release conditions stated that he's prohibited. All right, he's been released, right? Conditions state he's prohibited from possessing weapons and also prohibited him from possessing any gloves with hardened knuckle plating. I'm not even kidding you people here. This is what Canada is all worried about now. Canada has got its panties all super bunged up. Not about the actions, the circumstances that led up to the action. Their whole focus of this article is whether or not they should be allowed to. Now, here comes a quote, Jared. It's a quote from the story. How many of you guys out there, how many of you pipe hitters have padded knuckle gloves? I'm thinking probably all of you, right?
Yeah.
All the pipe hitter guys do. Why is that? Where did the padded knuckle, protective knuckle gloves come from? I can tell you why they're popular, because we started sending people over to the sandbox, and we started doing a whole lot of armored vehicle convoys. And let me tell you what, brothers and sisters, when you are out on an armored vehicle convoy and your bare hands and bare knuckles come into contact with armored hatches, when you're climbing through in and out of armored vehicles, one of the things that always gets messed up is your hands and your knuckles. So, glove manufacturers in the United States of America said, here's what we're going to do for all of you guys going over to play in the sandbox in armored vehicle convoys. We're going to give you gloves that pad your knuckles and your fingers and so forth, so that when you're climbing in and out of these Bradleys and Amtraks and all that other, these monstrosities that are armored Humvees, which are just an abomination before the Lord, then you won't so much mess up your hands. Thank you very much. Now, they're not made of metal. Okay, they don't make them of metal. They make them of polycarbonate. Now, there may have been a few out there that had some metal inserts, but those were few and far between. Most of them have some type of polycarbonate backing so that your knuckles don't get cracked when you're going in and out of vehicles. It's the most important thing. And if you're ever on a convoy overseas, standard SOP is personal protective gear: helmet, flak, and gloves. All right? Here's a quote from the story from CBC. Think of it as a pair of brass knuckles. Yep, in bold. So now, wearing Oakley gloves is the same as punching someone in the head with brass knuckles. Yep. The assault gloves, manufactured by Oakley Standard Issue, are available for purchase on the company's publicly... Get this is how afraid they're... Jared, their website is publicly accessible.
Holy cow.
Any person can just go to their... Can they buy them without background checks? Are they like scopes?
You mean you don't have to use the deep web?
They're like rifle scopes that anyone can just go online and buy.
Yeah, it turns it into an assault rifle.
We've got to stop. There's something has to be done to stop people from publicly accessing this company's website.
They're just giving out weapons of mass destruction.
They're just letting you buy them. I bet you there's no restrictions for the import into Canada either.
Do you know how many faces you can destroy with these gloves?
Oh.
What? Wow.
They feature a thick piece of carbon fiber over the knuckles, among other modifications. We got a quote here from somebody. It says, they're going to be used mainly in live-action combat for active military members as well as on-duty police officers should they need to, listen to this, should they need to break a window or anything else that would involve glass. Now, you think that quote means that they're punching their hands through the glass? That's not it at all. You wear gloves on your hands if you have to breach a window so that all the broken glass doesn't get in and on your hands. You guys watch our vehicle glass breaching videos? If you notice that Professor Paul was wearing gloves, yeah, that's why. Oh my gosh. Apparently, this "think about it like a pair of brass knuckles" was a quote from an Oakley sales representative who identified herself as Sarah P. Think about it as a pair of brass knuckles on a glove. Obviously, it's a little bit of a different material, but it's still going to have the same kind of effectiveness just because of the thick piece of carbon fiber in there. I'm about to end this. Internal audit of gloves underway. This is the important thing. Ottawa Police CFO Jeff Letourneau sent a letter to Ottawa police inspectors Monday afternoon advising them that Police Chief Charles Boudelot wants an audit of all gloves issued to officers for on-duty use. The letter obtained by CBC News states that the force's quartermaster has already documented all gloves issued through it, but that several sections within the force have purchased gloves directly without going through the quartermaster. We have rogue gloves, Jared. That's what we have.
Oh, man.
We have we have police officers that bought gloves for themselves without going through the quartermaster. I'm feeling kind of panicky right now. I didn't know that this was such a problem. I'm asking each one of you to review your respective directorates and document any glove purchased directly by sections within your chain of command. And we here at Student of the Gun applaud the bravery and the courageous action of the Ottawa police chief in auditing each and every glove that has been purchased or used by a police officer in his jurisdiction. I think that is brave, and my hat is proverbially off to you. Woo!
Verbal hat tip.
You're so weak. Canadians are so weak. Jared, is it a coincidence that the abbreviation for Canada is CA? And the abbreviation for the weakest, most vag-tastic state in America is CA, too.
Yeah, that's funny.
I don't know. It's just probably a coincidence. All right, I bet you know what I'm going to do right now? I'm going to do this live as this is happening. I'm going to go to brownells.com, and I'm going to see if they stock assault gloves. Why not? Why not? Oh, gloves. I typed in the word gloves. Let me see what kind of gloves. Well, you can get all kinds. You can get refinishing gloves. You can get... here we go. Magpul breacher gloves. Yes, you can get Wiley X. You can get a set of Wiley X assault gloves from brownells.com. So, dudes, do it right now. Get your assault gloves today before they're banned. And you can go to brownells.com and do it. Tell them that we sent you. Don't they know? Aren't they aware, Jared, of the dangers involved in the procurement and distribution of assault gloves to the public? Even to police officers. Even police officers cannot be trusted with assault gloves. It's just a shame that we live in this time. Century Arms is the sweetest smelling arms maker in the U.S. of A. You can get Century guns, at least some of them, from brownells.com. That's right. You can buy a gun from Brownells and have it shipped to your favorite FFL holder near you. Now, you have to go in there and pick it up. It doesn't come to your house. I know that the FBI director thinks that they just ship it to your house, but they don't. CenturyArms.com. Duracoat, why? Well, I'm going to tell you why. Because life's too short to have an ugly gun. And I really appreciate all of you guys who do Duracoat projects and share the photos. Hashtag Duracoat. And share them on Instagram and Facebook and all that jazz. But
I think Instagram would be the best
Instagram's the best one.
I love it.
Yeah. So Duracoat products are available from LauerWeaponry.com, or you can get them at Brownells too. SWAT Fuel. If you're going to get yourself a stronger body and a sharper mind this year, which we recommend that you work on a strong body and a sharp mind, you might want to go to SWATfuel.com or SWAT Fuel Store. I'm sorry, the SWATfuelstore.com. And while you're there, use the promo code SOTG2015. When you do that, you're going to save yourself some money. That's a good thing. Now, we got two more people to talk about before we get back into we got a Vagination. Jared, make sure you got the Vagination music queued up because it's going to be super. Like I said, duct tape times 2 today. Not times 1, times 2. You might even want to spend a little bit of extra money and get the Gorilla tape.
See, I thought that the Tony the Tampon thing was going to be the worst
The
thing
most
that we talked about.
fantastic thing you were not even there yet. Yeah. Frog Lube, it's green, it's minty fresh. It is a bio-based firearms lubricant. And you can get Frog Lube from Brownells, from froglube.com, or your dealer near you. If they don't have it, ask for it. Go in and ask them. Say, hey, y'all got any of that Frog Lube? Know what I'm saying? There you go.
Nuts in the air.
Crossbreed holsters. Makers of the Super Tuck Deluxe. The most comfortable inside of the waistband holster you're ever going to buy. So there you go.
Tiptoe through the window, by the window, that is where I'll be. Come tiptoe through the tulips with me.
Aw, thank you, Tiny Tim. We truly appreciate Tiny Tim giving us the Vagination theme update. And we're going to go back to the Great White North. Woohoo! The assault gloves one, Jared. I wasn't going to give you the Vagination one there, but we decided to do the Canada theme and this one. This story comes to us from Breitbart.com, and the title of the story is College Removes Scales from Gym to Avoid Triggering Overweight Students. The story is by Warner Todd Houston. Carleton University faces severe criticism for its latest politically correct decision to remove scales from its gym and workout areas to prevent the triggering of overweight students. The Ottawa, Ontario, I hope they don't allow people to use assault gloves when they work out, Jared. Have you seen those people at the gym wearing their fingerless assault gloves? I hope that someone listening at Carleton University will be proactive enough to institute a policy prohibiting the use of assault gloves at all of their gyms and workout areas, because seeing those gloves may trigger someone and they'll have to run to their safe space. Oh, this is so fun. This is more fun than a human being should be allowed to have. The Ottawa, Ontario University calls the decision in keeping with current fitness and social trends. The school's manager of health and wellness, Bruce Marshall, claims that the move helps improve the mental well-being and health of the school's students. Are you losing it over there? Are you with me?
I can't.
Oh, we're not even done.
I know.
Indeed. Marshall went on to insist that scales only remind people they are fat, and the scale, according to the manager of fitness, of wealth and wellness,
Health
and wellness. This is I cannot believe the weakness. There's so much. How does this person stand up with no spine? So the manager of health and wellness for Carleton University said that the presence of a scale has a negative impact on health. We don't believe being fixated on weight has any positive effect on your health and well-being, Marshall said to Canada's The Charlatan newspaper. Does that say Charlatan?
Yep. Wow.
The body is an amazing machine, and even when we are dieting and training, it will often find a homeostasis at a certain weight. Well, at least he used the word homo in there, so I'll give him that. Some students agreed with the move. One even labeled the scales as triggering. Oh! Yeah, I could not have paid for this. Okay, so in the first story, we have Abdina Jarada Abdi groping people and having a undisclosed mental health issue. Check out this quote from a student at there's great things going on in Ottawa, Canada right now. There are wonderful progressive things happening in Ottawa. They're going to rid the city, the region, of assault gloves and scales. Quote, scales are very triggering, student Samar El Faki said. I think people are being insensitive because they simply don't understand. They think eating disorders are a choice when they are actually a serious illness. All right. Well, there you go.
So what doesn't make sense to me is that, like the fitness end of these, like the people that are in the fitness part of the school are like, hey, let's remove the scales. And then you got this dude that it says he is a second-year computer scientist who is obviously on the other end of the fitness thing. And he thinks that, he said, we shouldn't remove something because some people abuse it. And then he said, if they can't handle the number that shows up on the scale, then don't step on it.
So you got a computer science guy saying, what's the big deal? And then you have the people that are in charge of health and wellness telling you we need to get rid of the scales because they have a, quote, negative impact on people's health. Canadians. Can I point and laugh at Canada? Ha ha! You're so weak. I don't even know what to say. And the people in the United States are like, come on, Paul, that's Canada. There's nothing to do. No. That's where insane, psychotic, liberal ideas go to gestate and grow. They go to Canada, and then they flow down into the United States. Or they start in Europe, and then they migrate across the ocean to Canada and down to the United States. So if you're in the United States, you need to pay attention to this crap, because as sure as God made little green apples, there will be a college or university in the United States that takes up this socially progressive theme of removing scales. Jared, so I'm guessing they don't have a weight program, or I'm sorry, a wrestling program in this college in Canada? That is
probably way too much violence.
Yeah, I'm guessing that they don't wrestle because if there are people who know how much they weigh, it's wrestlers. All right. I think that's all I have to say about that, Jared. I'll be quiet and let Alex talk for a second.
Attention, new listeners. We produced a free training video series called 7 Training Tips That Could Save Your Life. We want you to have access to this life-saving information. Get instant access now at studentofthegun.com. Do you watch Student of the Gun TV, read the blog, and follow us on Facebook? If you answered no to any of those questions, you are wrong, but you can easily fix yourself. Go to studentofthegun.com to find everything SOTG.
Yes, indeed, you can and should do that very thing. You should go to studentofthegun.com and begin from there. And if you have a friend or a relative or a neighbor or someone who saw you there over on the other side of the room and they hear you laughing maniacally like a crazy person with your earbuds in, and they say to you, what are you laughing at? What is so funny over there? Just say, all right, calm down, hippie. You need to listen louder. I want you to go to studentofthegun.com and begin from there. That's what you tell them. All right. Well, it's Tuesday, and it's time for a quiet time.
Meet Sid. Sid doesn't check for traffic updates. Sid does simplify suppressor ownership. Meet Sid, the new interactive kiosk that makes the fingerprinting and paperwork of silencer applications quick, easy, and pain-free. If you're ready to own a silencer, make time to meet Sid, your new buddy in the silencer business. Available at selected Powered by Silencer shop retailers.
All right. And let me tell you something, hippies. I know a lot of you guys are waiting for this Hearing Protection Act to transpire. Something that I went to my Class 3 guy about a week or two ago, and I talked to him and I asked him how things were going. And one of the things that he told me that was in the bill was that anybody who paid their $200 fee during the time that the bill has been in, if the bill passes, that they will have to refund the $200 processing fee, the $200 tax stamp, to you. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
So basically, don't wait for it to pass.
Yeah,
Just don't do it.
I wouldn't. Well, here's what's going to happen. If and when this passes, okay, let's hope that the Hearing Protection Act passes and that silencers are no longer a regulated item. You don't have to get a tax stamp anymore, and you don't have to wait 6 to 9 months. That you can go to a gun shop and buy a can just like you're buying a gun, right? If and when that happens, what you're going to see is you're going to see a massive rush to gun stores to buy these things. And then people like, well, the gun culture or the shooting sports community, what will they do, Jared? They will biatch and complain that the one that they wanted, that they have to wait for it now. And they're like, derp, derp, I can't get one. You remember when everyone in the world all of a sudden decided they had to have a black rifle? And then all the crybabies in the shooting sports world or the shooting industry or whatever started going on Facebook complaining about hoarders and I can't find a black rifle. Why is that? Because everyone went out at the same time and tried to buy them. So what happened, listen to me, when it passes, what people will do is they will all run out. And let's face it, they don't make suppressors like they make Glocks or SIGs or whatever. There aren't tens and tens of thousands of them in warehouses. They don't make them that fast. Now, they can make them, but what I'm telling you is if you wait, you may not get what you want. Or you may have to wait to get what you want later because of production concerns, okay? So there you go. If you're thinking about buying a silencer, just go to silencershop.com, and they'll answer your questions for you, and you can go from there. Now, today we're going to talk about Cork Graham's book, Make Them Pay, and I have recommended this before, but I've got the book. The book is downloaded on my phone via the Kindle app, and the book is a Kindle book. There is no physical paperback book. And one of the things, I'm in the chapter where Cork is talking about physical preparation and then psychological preparation for paramilitary forces or civilian forces to defend their country. And he talks about the problems of the me generation, the me generation of the 1960s, 70s on through today. And I underlined a quote from his book because I wanted to share it with you. And it said, to take someone who has been raised in a reward for nothing system to a small reward for great sacrifice system, as was the norm before the social movement of the 1960s, can be a very tough objective to reach. And I thought that was worth discussing today. Now, the book's called Make Them Pay. It's by Cork Graham. It's available on Amazon, and the link is in the show notes for you guys. But essentially what Cork is talking about is how up until the modern era that we're living in, most countries and communities and organized civilizations, they understood that while they had an army, that it was really, and you know who understood this, Jared? People like Washington and Jefferson and Madison and Hamilton. They understood that regardless of the size of your army, that it is the able-bodied people, the able-bodied citizens of the country that are the greatest deterrent to outside aggression. Because you can send your army here and there, and your enemies can generally, via spies and so forth, they can find out the size of your army and where, and that's what we did all through the Cold War, and I'm sure they still do it, where they spy on the United States and find out, how many members are in this division and that division and where are they stationed and in their readiness and all that. But the one thing that they can't, that your enemy cannot calculate, or is very difficult to calculate, is if you have a free people that are free to be armed and are also skilled in the use of those arms. It's easy to say, okay, 2nd Marine Division is stationed here, there's this many regiments, this many battalions, this many people per battalion. We know that. We know where they are. But when you have a people of your country who are armed and trained and understand how to use the guns, then an aggressor can't factor that. They're like, well, crap. Everywhere we go, there is going to be a large group of human people that have guns and know how to use them. And that is what Make Them Pay is all about. It's encouraging the responsible citizens of a free society to have the arms. And one of the things that he talked about is like, everybody understood that a long time ago, but here we are in the me, I, something for nothing generation where people get trophies just for showing up. How do you convince those people that they actually need to physically and mentally prepare themselves? And it's difficult, and it's an uphill challenge. So if you guys want to take advantage of that book, it is very inexpensive. If you have Amazon Prime, if you're a Prime member, you can download it onto your phone or app or your laptop or whatever for nothing. And if you don't have a Prime account, if you're just a regular person, I think it's a couple of bucks. It's definitely worth it. So check it out. It's like I said, it's by our friend Cork Graham, and it's called Make Them Pay. All right, kids. I think we're all done making fun of Canada today. We'll see what we have in store for tomorrow. Now, Wednesday is always our Fighting Fitness, brought to you by SWAT Fuel. I don't know. Should we consult Dr. Dan and ask him whether or not we should eliminate all the scales from our Fighting Fitness program so no one gets triggered?
Yeah, I was just thinking that maybe we just have to eliminate the whole Fighting Fitness thing because we might be triggering somebody.
You're right. I mean, we might actually be triggering people by talking about being physically fit.
Yeah.
Because people who aren't, it might make them feel bad, and they'll have to seek out a safe space. So.
Now, on a more serious note, those of you that have specific questions about anything fitness related, then you can ask them, and they may be addressed on the Fighting Fitness segment.
Fitness pizza in your mouth?
Fitness pizza, fitness chicken, fitness... I can't say that because of grad program.
Yeah.
You like dragons?
Yeah.
How about omelets?
Omelet. All right, kids. We'll be back tomorrow, and we'll have a Fighting Fitness for you and some other hilarity, including a Brownell's bullet point. So make sure you join us. Remember, you're a beginner once, a student for life.